Each one of us has a certain game franchise that we adore, something that really makes us truly excited for the next release. For some it's Halo, maybe Forza, or even God of War. But for me, it's Gears of War, because it's a game that truly made me an Xbox fan for life. And ever since I played the first Gears of War game and beat it probably over 10 times, I knew I would also want to play the next iteration every time they release. And this holds especially true when it comes to Gears 5, which is just around the corner. And this Gears is on another level of hype for me because it does have so many new and improved aspects from the top down. And it has me thinking about the first Gears of War, which took the gaming world by storm and really cemented the franchise and the gaming world forever. But not only that, it was truly one of the best games to come out that year and won Game of the Year awards from many outlets that voted for it. And to be honest with you, I feel that Gears 5 has that type of potential when it comes to being a Game of the Year contender. Now I know most of you will brush this off and think I'm being a huge Gears fanboy or Xbox fanboy, and that's fine, you can think that all you want. But one thing rings true, you can't deny the massive game that Gears 5 will be, or the attention to detail and effort the studio has put into it. And in this video, I'm going to explain why I think Gears 5 actually has a legitimate shot at being the Game of the Year for 2019. I'll go into how massive the game is and how much content it provides. And I'll also go into detail about the competing games this year coming out and which games will probably give Gears 5 a run for their money. So let's get into it. And if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. In this first segment, I'm going to explain why I think Gears actually has a shot at being Game of the Year this year. And the first one, I believe this game provides so much familiar content, yet new content to Gears players that it will ultimately feel like a fresh game to them. We all know that every Gears head will be in the multiplayer, nashing people all over the walls, and most people will be satisfied with their purchase of the game because the replay value attached to Gears 5 is out of this world, and it's something that we all expect to be there at the end of the day. Being able to play the multiplayer at a very high competitive stage or at a lower stage like arcade mode, which they demoed to us the last month or so. Whichever way you look at it, the Gears 5 multiplayer is bigger than ever before, and that really does bring a smile to my face and makes a lot of Gears fans a lot more happy that it looks like the multiplayer will have longevity to it. And it doesn't stop there, because we all saw at Gamescom where the Coalition showed off the highly anticipated Horde mode. And let's be real for a second, people, the reason anyone knows what Horde mode is because Gears of War, the franchise, made it that popular. And in Gears 5, Horde mode is going to look a lot bigger and better compared to any other Horde mode around. Not only do we get awesome special abilities attached to certain characters that look awesome, you can call artillery strikes down, or go stealth and take out enemies without them even knowing. You can even see through walls and take enemies out from the safety of your cover. And of course, you can be Jack the robot and take over certain enemies and change the battlefield up and flip it on its head. But the biggest change is you'll have to always move around and collect resources around the map in order to survive the waves of enemies. No longer will you be able to stay put and hold a certain corner of the map. You'll be challenged to move around the map and take the enemy head on. No matter how you look at it, Horde mode, if you love it or hate it, you can tell they put a lot more effort into it and made it a big part of the game and something that we can play for years or months after the game releases. Next up is Escape Mode, which is brand new to the Gears franchise and was shown off to the fans during the E3 week. Now, a lot of people found this mode to be fast-paced and pretty fun to play, but there was this negative energy surrounding it because of the lackluster showing of no campaign during the E3 briefing. But to be honest, that's not fair to the new Escape Mode attached to Gears of War, because this mode looks like a lot of fun and is a brand new mode added to an already stacked game. And just like every other mode attached to Gears, the heart and soul of this mode is playing with your friends in co-op, but at a much faster pace because you're fighting against the clock with this green poison that you set off chasing you. Unlike Horde mode, you'll be able to test your speed in Gears of War and fight against cool enemies with your buddies while you try to beat the clock. It's pretty awesome to see the studio not stay with the same modes in a game. Instead, they added a whole new mode that seems like it will be a hit with a lot of Gears fans. That includes me, because I'm going to try to play this with my buddies a whole bunch, and it's faster paced and doesn't take hours like Horde mode can take, so it's a great middle balance with a lot of the other modes attached to the game. Not to mention there's an escape creator mode attached to this where people can create their own maps and challenges in this game, where you can put those online and challenge people to try and beat the madness that you created. It's so cool to see the scale of support and detail this mode has gotten. You can tell the Coalition wants this to be a staple among the Gears community. But now let's talk about the most important aspect of Gears 5 to me, and that has to be the campaign, which wasn't shown at E3, and that broke a lot of fans' hearts because it's the most anticipated part of the game people look forward to. Yet Xbox listened to the criticism from us, the fans, and brought a brand new Gears 5 campaign trailer with them to Gamescom. And this trailer blew every single person's mind when they saw it. The graphics, the music, the set pieces, everything about this trailer screamed high quality and over-the-top action that a lot of Xbox fans have been waiting for. And all of this in 4K 60 FPS on the Xbox One X, which is an accomplishment in and of itself. But the best part about this trailer was the emotional toll we see the characters taking throughout the trailer. We see Kate being poked and maybe even experimented on. We see her dealing with the demons inside her head as she tries to understand what exactly is happening to her. We see Marcus Phoenix trying to help her and his family by trying to understand what they're up against. We see JD transform into a hardened war veteran that seems to have dealt with a lot of trauma. We see Dell trying to help Kate find what she's looking for. He almost seems like the one person around that's trying to keep Kate from driving off the deep end. And if we look at last year's campaign trailer at E3 2018 and this year's Gamescom trailer, you can tell this is the biggest campaign the Gears has ever dealt with. And that couldn't make me happier because I love playing the Gears campaign with my buddies and experiencing those games together and feeling for those characters together. It's some of the best gaming I've ever experienced, and I can't wait to do it again with Gears 5, but at a much bigger scale, especially with the new skiff, which will take you to other parts of the world and have you exploring what looks like massive hub worlds, where I'm sure you'll be able to expand the lore of Gears and also progress certain story elements at your own pace. So when you take all of these new and old modes with all their enhancements, you can tell this game is going to be stacked. And with so much high quality content, we will all get countless hours of entertainment from this game and so much replay value. Not to mention the amazing expansive campaign, which seems to be packed with so many great story elements. And also having cool set pieces that I'm sure will leave us with our jaws on the ground as we take in the great experience. All of this does make me feel that Gears 5 will truly be a contender for Game of the Year. But that's not all. I also take a look around the gaming industry and realize that a lot of games coming out just don't seem as big or epic as Gears 5 does. I'm going to bring up 3 games that I think might give Gears 5 a run for its money when it comes to Game of the Year. The first one has to be Doom Eternal, because that game probably had the best showing at E3 and looks like a great time. Not to mention the developer behind it has already made high quality games that most of us enjoyed immensely. You throw in the great gameplay mechanics attached to the game and how big their fan base is, and you truly might have something special with Doom Eternal, and I truly hope it is something very pleasant because I love the new Doom game that came out a couple years ago and I can't wait to play this one. Next is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Now, I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to this game, yet I understand just how good the game is. Just because I don't enjoy these types of games, it does not mean I don't understand the great appeal it has for a lot of gamers. It's very skill-based, it has great gameplay mechanics attached to it, along with great boss fights that give people fits. Not to mention it's made by a quality studio that seems to bring out nothing but highly rated games that a lot of gamers have become loyal to. So this isn't a game I think a lot of people should sleep on for Game of the Year, because I know just how much people love this game. And as for the third one, I have to say it's probably Borderlands 3. Compared to the other 2 games, this is the only game that comes close to the scale of Gears 5. Is it as big and expansive as Gears 5 with its modes and all the multiplayer attached to it? No, it's not, at least to me, that big, but I can't deny that the game is massively popular and has been highly anticipated by basically the entire gaming world. It's a franchise that a lot of people love to play and could spend hundreds of hours in it. Not to mention the story attached to it does seem pretty cool and a little wonky if you ask me, but again, I know how loyal the fan base is, and I know that this game will give Gears 5 and every other game this year a fair shot at Game of the Year. Now, of course, there's other games like Death Stranding and the new Star Wars games, and maybe even Resident Evil 2, but honestly, I don't see those games coming close to the quality that Gears 5 has shown so far. But that could change over the next couple of months left over the year. But I have to say, I truly think that Gears 5 is the biggest game coming this year and potentially can be the game of the year this year. And that makes me extremely happy as a Gears of War fan, because for a very long time I've always thought Gears should be one of those games that contends for Game of the Year every time it releases. And after Gears Judgment and Gears 4, I didn't think those games belonged in those categories, especially Judgment. And as for Gears 4, I always felt the game played it safe and it didn't bring anything new to the franchise. But now, when I look at Gears 5, I see something new, I see something innovative. I see high quality AAA production with a massive story and a massive multiplayer along with massive modes. It's something I've never seen Gears of War do before. They're swinging for the fences with this game, and it just puts a smile on my face to know that they're doing that. And I want to leave you with this quote from Ryan Clevin, who's Gears 5 multiplayer design director. He says this: Gears 5 is the largest Gears of War to date. It's the largest campaign ever made, the largest PvE ever made, the largest versus ever made. If this doesn't make you smile as a Gears fan, I don't know what will. But enough about what I think. Tell me what you think about all of this. Do you think Gears 5 can be Game of the Year? What other games compete with it? Do you think this is the biggest game of the year? Are you impressed with what we've seen so far of Gears of War 5? Which one of these modes excites you the most? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. Any support helps the channel out more than you know. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my videos. Also follow me on Mixer, the link will be in the description. I recently started streaming on Mixer because I find the community a lot more engaging and a lot more fun and welcoming. So if you want to hang out and chat with me, I'm very active with my chat and always playing games. I hope to see you guys there. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.